You see, when we talk about the Holy Spirit filling your entire being, it means also your tongue. There are people you are anointed everywhere but your tongue. Because if power enters your tongue, people will die. To be filled by the Holy Spirit is even your tongue. There are things that God has to test in a man. God will try you to see if He can trust you by putting power on your lips and on your tongue. God will try you. If you are quick to speak without listening, God cannot give it to you. A meek and a quiet spirit is of a great price in the sight of God. Are you listening?
Yeah.
A meek and a quiet spirit is of the greatest price in the sight of God. A meek and a quiet spirit is priceless. There are so many of you who have not developed to be quiet. And it is affecting you to enter into a place whereby your word can establish things.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little testimony.
Amen.
I won't mention the person's name because this is high profile people, so I'll keep quiet. A few years ago, there's a woman that came from Africa. Her husband was a powerful political player. Very, very wealthy man. And when the woman of God came, I was still in Van Nuys, in the house in Van Nuys. And I told the woman, I said, "Woman of God, I saw your husband holding another child, a daughter, in his right hand." She said, "No, I only have boys." I said, "Woman of God, I'm seeing him holding a daughter, and this is not from you." She was like, okay. I said, "Your husband, as we are speaking, is planning to leave you." What? What is this guy talking about? I said, "But no matter what you do," but the woman of God was so wise, she was recording it. I said, "No matter what you do, don't fight him. Don't argue with him. Be of a calm and quiet spirit. And God will turn this whole thing for your favor."
Amen.
Please listen to me. She took the recording and she didn't get it. Her husband was in Africa and she was in Europe. She was trying to go and see her husband. He'll say, "Don't come right now, I'm busy, whatever." "But I want to come, don't come." When she flew down to go and see him, the man had another woman and a daughter on the way with that woman. And the man had paperwork to take all his wife's names off everything and her children's names or her sons off the will. Papers. Then she replayed the prophecy. Don't fight with him. Don't argue with him. Stay calm. So in the process of this man doing everything that he was doing, he forgot the paperwork that the children were supposed to sign. And with the chaos of the paperwork that was in the room, he just took it and gave it to her, so she was holding them. Unfortunately, the man was very stubborn, and I knew God was going to do this, but I didn't know how to tell her. He had already prepared that this woman, then he got another woman, and a lot of things were going on around. Something happened. I won't go into details. The man died. All the women rose up because he had already spoken with his attorneys, thinking that he had signed and the paperwork was done. But his wife had all the papers because she was quiet and calm. So when people rose up to take everything, because she had all the paperwork, even the man himself didn't know, she retained everything that her husband had, and her and her children are secure.
Amen. Jesus. Deep.
Can your words establish something in the future? The woman of God spoke to me and she told me, if you had never spoken to me, I would be a nobody now. All the things that we built together, I would have not had it. It would have been gone. Other people would have been enjoying it. I prayed the prophecy every single day.
Amen.
When I realized what was unfolding, I was shocked. She cried on her knees and said, God is inside of you. Whatever you need me to do, I will do it. The woman is a multi-millionaire. Never asked for a dime. I said, woman of God, what God did, it was his will. And that was the end of it. Can you be responsible with your lips? Some of you pray, you will do prayer, you will do this, you will do that. But when it comes to the responsibility of your lips, it's non-existent. You've seen me settle cases in church. This one is guilty. I said, trust me. This person is coming out. Come back and follow Jesus. You see them going to court and they're like, the whole case fell apart. And if I tell you do this and you don't do it, the case also you get locked. Please do this. Please do this. You act prideful. I leave you alone. Everyone that has listened to me has come out. Everyone. Even if they were sentenced to death, they came out. Why? The lips, if they are protected, then the oil will flow through them.
Amen.
Life and death is in the tongue. How can God use lips that are insulting, backbiting, spewing hate, spewing all manner of things, yet wanting the same lips to be the one that praises God and also release blessings? James said, how can fountain of pure waters and poisoned waters or unclean water come from the same place? It ought not to be. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What is in the depth of your spirit must align with your lips. This is why many of you are fasting and praying, but nothing good is coming out. Because when it comes to speak things or to call those things that are not as if they were, you are powerless because your mouth cannot be authorized. Because once anointed, always anointed. God can't reverse it. So God rather block you until you get it together, because if he gives it to you, you become a danger.